Vichitanya manopistam saptam ina Vamyam Shiyuda Patamam Shivam Vaishnavam Sam Kirupam Parijatam Sakamaragnam Vitam Sam Sativam Satvaitam Sarvitvam Vaishnavam Krishna Stang Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakalita Shivisakam Satam Hare Krishna Karuna Sinadina Vanotyatta Keto Pesha Saptakam Param Santanamaste Saptakam Snagalam Hirade Vinadam Siddhavana Shikadeti Sanamama Haikari Panka Kalpa Vishate Pasinve Vishapa Namparana Vyopachna Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yadvaita Gadada Shivam Shanti Gaurava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna 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 Namaste Saraswati Devi Gautam Pachari Nirvishesha Srimati Pachari. So last week we discussed the first 15 verses of the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and we said with the mind you can degrade yourself or uplift yourself. Mind can be your friend or your enemy. So we must make the mind our friend, because the mind is our friend when it is controlled, when it is engaged in devotional service, when the mind is fixed on Krishna. And heart becomes purified, and in due course of time, then you become peaceful, very peaceful and undisturbed inside. Then you can perceive the simplest soul, Krishna, in the heart. So that then we heard further that the purpose of yoga is to cease material existence. But how to make the mind your friend? How to purify the mind? What is the process? Now Krishna will give Arjuna more details. Not detail, he gives details from the 16th verse onward. Verse 16. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Nastasnatasta Yogasthi Nasikam Anasmata Nachapi Svata Silasya Jakato Naigacharina. There is no possibility of one becoming a yogi or Arjuna if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. So you should have by now on the screen a slide, eating and sleeping, not too much, not too less. You see this lady at the right side with a plate with not much on. But what happens if you eat too less? That the mind becomes disturbed, very active. You cannot sleep in the mind. What happens if you eat too much, like this man at the bottom that then you will sleep too much, like this baby on top. But, so then you cannot practice yoga. Yoga means balance. But what does it mean? Eating too much, too less? That we will today try to understand more in detail. Now, we have Vishwanatha Bhakti Thakur. He says what where it explains or teaches us what it is to eat in a balanced way. He says one should fill the stomach half with food, 1/4 with water, and 1/4 for the movement of the air. So he says half of the stomach you can fill with food, 1/4 for water, and the rest must be air. And that's what you can eat in one time. What time? In one time. So what does that mean? That how do I know what fills my stomach? Ayurveda says you can eat maximum 100% what you can keep in your 2 hands. Everyone has different hands, right? I have bigger hands, smaller hands, but you can hold in your 2 hands. And from that, you can take as breakfast 60%, and at lunch 80-90%, and in the evening only 20%. These are some of the instructions of Ayurveda, but it gives us an idea. Usually when we eat because we are hungry, right? Ayurveda says also if you are not hungry, you should not eat. And you should eat until the greatest hunger has gone. Then the Prabhupada says about devotees should eat gradually. Of course, in the beginning, it didn't mention that. For neophytes, for the beginning, they take prasad and Prabhupada said we can fill up until here. But then later he explains them that, you must only eat to keep body and soul together. So that's a reality of the yogi. So what does it practically mean? Yeah, it's for everyone different. You have to experiment, and normally when you eat too much afterwards, digestion is difficult. Like Queen Kunti, when she was in exile with the 5 Pandavas, then she was cooking for the Pandavas, and the amount she would cook, she would divide in 2, and half would go to Bhima, and the other half she put in 7 portions, or 6 portions, I think. 4 for the other Pandavas, and then for herself and for the offering. Anyway, it's different for everyone. But now, let's go to the next slide, 17, and learn more about this balance. Yukta virayasya yukta sistasya karmasu yukta stapna pabodasya yoga bhavati dukkha. He who is regulating his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So to mitigate these pains, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport 4 things have to be done. Eating should be regulated, and one should only take Krishna prasad. Krishna Prasad will help to purify your mind. That, because uncontrolled mind means the mind says, yes, eat, eat, eat. But one should not listen to the mind. One must listen to the intelligence. You say, this is what you can eat. That's what you can digest. Otherwise, you get in trouble. You have to sleep more, and your food is not completely digested. If you eat too much, then Ayurveda says an arm is created, toxins. And these toxins will find their way in their body and cause pain and infection at the weakest place. But that is mostly coming from eating too much. Better to eat too less for your health than too much. And because that is an important consideration also for health. When the boats from America went first time to Mayapur at that time in the 70s, there were no bottled water. All water came from the ground, and many times it was full of bacteria, and everyone became sick. But Bhanu Swami, who was a brahmachari at that time, he did not become sick, but he was a strict brahmachari, which he would eat a minimum what they just needed. And Srila Prabhupada pointed that out, you see. If you eat too much, then the chance for getting sick is much more. If you are nicely balanced and just eat what you need, then health is easy to maintain. If you constantly eat too much, I've seen it in myself when you eat too much, and then you have to fast one day. When you fast, then you start to get migraine and so on. But that's the body. This is the body which starts to purify itself during the fasting. And when you have a lot of toxins from eating too much, you get heavy migraine because the body, when you fast, especially practically a day, then the fire of digestion comes very, very, very strong in the stomach. And it's burning all the impurities, and so many dead cells are removed from the body, and they also, these toxins go into the brain, and you get migraine. But mostly, after some time, that goes away. But if you are just eating what you need, you will experience when you fast on Ekadashi, you do full fast, you have no problem. Because these toxins are not there. This is all what Ayurveda says, but also not only Ayurveda, but I'm at the Vitaram project here in Bulgaria, and you can speak with the health specialist, will say the same thing. That to regulate it and eat only Krishna Prasad, because yoga is meant to stop material existence. If you eat something else from Prasad, you will get karmic reactions. And karmic reactions means you have to take birth again. That's not good. Krishna consciousness is subtle science. You offer the food to Krishna, there is no karma, and it purifies you. We have last time seen that previous acharyas called the Vidyabhushan, Vishmasakavakitakosis. Yoga is meant to purify the internal organ, and the internal organ is the mind, must be purified. So the devotee is only for self. Second, a Krishna conscious person is always alert in the discharge of his duties in Krishna consciousness, and therefore any time spent sleeping is considered a great loss. Of course, we cannot imitate the 6 Goswamis who were sleeping 2 hours a night. And also Haridas Thakur, 2 hours, 1.5 hours, and then he had to get up to his shot and took his bath in the Ganga, and then he was chanting his rounds again for 22 hours. And then after that, he was taking a little prasad and again sleeping 1.5 hours. They've also seen Srila Prabhupada that he was going to bed at 9, 10 o'clock, and he got up at 1 o'clock and started to translate that. But we cannot imitate that. All these young hippies who joined in America with Prabhupada, they could not do what Prabhupada did. You must be spiritual advanced to do that. It's a gradual build up that because the body needs balance. If you get up in the morning and you get up early and you went to bed late and then chant your rounds, the quality of your rounds will be not good. You must be rested. A balance. You have to learn in Krishna consciousness. It's very important. And the devotee wants only to spend time in Krishna conscious activity. And he minimizes all of that. We will look hereafter to a daily schedule of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's a pure devotee. We will look at it, how he was living. And then we can think about it. What do I have to change? Because coronavirus, many of you are at home because of the lockdown. So now many are working from home, or maybe just be at home. Now you can change your schedule and to get a more Krishna conscious schedule. We will look here after. The third thing Srila Prabhupada said, a Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not connected with Krishna's interest. And that's it. We do never things for our own pleasure. Always for the pleasure of Krishna. We have to dovetail our activities in such a way that we do it to please Krishna. It doesn't have to be learned. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada said in the purport later, one should organize one's time in such a way that one cannot do anything else than 24 hours think of Krishna. But to do that, to organize that, you need the help of a spiritual master, someone who is more advanced to have experience with it. Yeah. And at last, Srila Prabhupada says, since there is no question of sense gratification, there is no material leisure for a person in Krishna consciousness. That means, because at the right side you see this work, rest, and recreation. That's the balance that materialists require. They work and then they need a weekend to rest and some recreation and then work again next week. But for the devotees, it's not like that. The devotees do not need recreation because they are not doing anything for sense gratification. They are engaged in service to Krishna, and that is very satisfying to the heart. You feel satisfaction even a neophyte if you are if you are practicing Krishna consciousness properly, just for the pleasure of Krishna, then you feel satisfied. And no need for recreation, that our service is our recreation. That I remember that Prabhu is the GBC for Ireland and the UK in ISKCON, and he was in Calcutta a few years ago, because at that time he was GBC there for Mayapur. Well, he was in Mayapur, and he received a school bus of students from Ireland. And on Saturday evening in Mayapur, you have this elephant procession. And that's a very beautiful ceremony, and the elephant stops to, with the deities on the back, that Shishirada Mother, and they receive offerings on different places on their path. That and the kirtan going on, and all these children, they said, I never thought that religion could be so fun. So they were amazed about the joy and yeah. So that is how it should be. So for the devotees, it's different. So let us now go to the next slide, and this is a schedule of Bhaktivinoda Thakur that I want to discuss with you. It starts in the evening, 7:30 till 8 p.m. He takes rest. He goes to sleep for 2.5, 3 hours till 10 o'clock. And then he gets up. And then at 10 o'clock, he starts writing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written so many books. So Prabhupada also at night. So at night, from 10 p.m. till 4 p.m., he would write. And at 4 p.m., he would rest for half an hour, get up, wash his hands and face, and chant japa for 2.5 hours till 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, he would write letters. 7:30 till 8:30, he would read. 8:30 in the morning, he would receive guests and continue to read. Then from 9:30 till 9:45, 50 minutes, he would take a nap. And then he would take a shower, he would take a breakfast. And look at the breakfast. He's eating half quart of milk, and it's not much, cup of milk, 2-3 chapatis and some fruits. That was what he was eating at breakfast. So that was his morning, and then he started to work because he was a householder, he was a working man, he was a deputy magistrate. That he said next slide that 9:55 he would go to court in a carriage. He said that he would wear a coat and pants to the court with those Tulsinek beads and Vaishnava tilak. He was very strong in his decisions. He would decide immediately. He did not allow any umbrage in his court. No obstacle could stand before him. He would shave his head monthly, and he had never any debts. So we can learn from Bhaktivinoda Thakur that so this 10 o'clock his work started in the court. Next slide, and that would go till 1 p.m., 3 hours, and then he would go home again, take a bath, refresh, At 2 o'clock, he would return to the office and come back at 5 o'clock. It is said Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had colleagues, and his colleagues were quite envious because they saw that Bhaktivinoda Thakur would do his work in half of the time that they needed. But he was so concentrated in what he did that 5 p.m. he would translate works from Sanskrit to Bengali, and then in the evening he would take a bath and take a meal. What would he eat? Some rice, again a couple of chapatis, and half liter of milk. And then the day starts again. So you see, he's not eating very much. That's usually Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada also, he was not eating very much. But he liked to get a Mahaprasad. Many times they bought many plates of Mahaprasad and would just taste here and there. But now we see that schedule of Srila Prabhupada. Next slide. By that, we should reflect, in the light of this knowledge, how can I improve my personal daily schedule? We can make it a schedule but we have to consider our own bodily needs and what we can do. How much do I need to sleep to be rested? And you must follow the nature. It's going together with what you eat. Sometimes reducing eating becomes difficult because of health reasons. If we become older, then it's difficult to eat much. That's a good thing, mostly. But of course, other considerations. But I want you to think about it. Let us try to learn from Bhaktivinoda Thakur how to organize our time 24 hours in a day, that we can be busy with Krishna conscious activity. Because as long as we are concentrate on our service with great absorption, the mind is controlled. And that's an important aspect of Krishna conscious sadhana. But we will learn more. Next slide. So, this is verse 18. Yadātini atam shitam atman eva pratishtati nishpriyasavakāmadyo yukta tada. When the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and concentrating concernments, devoid of all desires, he is said to be well established in yoga. So, a yogi is, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, is someone who is well disciplined in activities of the mind and can no longer be disturbed by any kind of material desire. So that's the purpose, one of the effects of concentrating the mind on our devotional activities, our material desires, we vanquish. We forget about it, or we don't have time for it anymore. Then the mind is no longer disturbed. So yoga is meant to get freedom from material desires, the purification of the internal organ, which is the mind. We never forget that. That is important. That what is a sign of spiritual advancement? That you lose your interest in sense, giving up these material desires. Our mind is very attached to sense gratification, and sometimes it overcomes the intelligence, but it's still attached. Therefore, we have to learn a little austerity, and not, especially not learn to listen to the mind, to a mind which is contaminated with material desires and too attached. And most of us are still in that category. It's not easy to come to the liberated platform. But, and we go here further in this section that Arjuna will protest and say, this is impractical for me. Let's see. Next slide. Third, we must discipline the mind. What does disciplining the mind mean? Does the mind direct my intelligence, or do I direct the mind with intelligence? Do I act as I feel? If you act as you feel, let's do it because it feels good, then the mind is directing the intelligence. And that's a problem. That's an undisciplined mind. Krishna already explained at the end of the third chapter. The intelligence must control the mind, must direct the mind to follow Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita, how to act for the spirit soul. So that's very important. We have to learn to observe our internal organ, what's in our mind, and control our mind with our intelligence. 19 there. As a lamp in a windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist whose mind is controlled remains always steady in his meditation on the transcendental self. So, writes in the purpose, a Krishna conscious person remains always absorbed in transcendence, in constant undisturbed meditation on his worshipful Lord. Is as steady as a lamp in the wind. So peaceful inside. Because an advanced Krishna conscious yogi sees always Krishna in the heart. It does not see just Krishna in the heart. It sees Krishna also externally. So, do I perform service without distraction? So we now, as part of our sadhana, we should learn to read Bhagavad Gita today. Do we read with concentration, or are we constantly disturbed by the mobile who lies with us and all the pops up from Facebook? No, you have to learn to concentrate, to do one thing. Just do one thing. One thing after another. Srila Prabhupada, peacefully, he did one thing after another. And he did so much things. So much work. And do it with concentration. Don't let your mind be deviated by anything. I learned that when I've been traveling with Nanda Maharaj for 10 years, 2-3 months every year. And I've got a lot of flights with him. We were together in the airport, and we would wait for boarding of the flight, and Max would sit down with his computer or with his iPad, and he would read, and it was just like he forgot the environment completely, so absorbed in reading that he would not look up for a moment, in deep concentrated reading. So there's a quality in what we do. We must be present in what we do and invest our time in it. And then with what you do, you will feel much more satisfied. That if your mind is going from this and that, then you are not really there. Like also in the temple, we sing, we have Mangalarti, or we sing Guru Vandana. You sing Guru Vandana, but it can be automatic pilot and the mind is doing something else. Then you are not really there. You are the consciousness. The consciousness is not there, you are not really there. You have to learn to be present at the moment. Don't let your mind go to the past, or all the problems in life, that is all problems. When you do service, you forget about that. You concentrate on your service. You can do that later. When you do japa, it's not the time to deal with all these problems. You tell your mind later, no Krishna. And that will elevate the quality of your life. This is a very important principle. Next slide. Now in the next verse, samadhi is described. I just will read the translation. In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by the practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind and to relish and rejoice in the self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental sense, established thus one never departs from the truth. And upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken even in the greatest difficulty. This is actually freedom from all the miseries of material contact. So if we are really concentrated on Krishna during our service, concentrated on Krishna means also concentrated on hearing Bhagavad Gita. It's also Krishna's words. That concentrated on our service to the deity, concentrated on our cooking, then we will become purified, and gradually we will start to feel satisfaction. And it takes a while before the heart is completely purified, but you get on the way already satisfaction. And then later you get this bliss which is described in this verse. The next verse is 21. This is the last verse we will discuss. There's much more to say on the mind. So there are many verses on the mind in Bhagavad Gita. But if we can learn from these principles today, I'm sure we can all work on improving our concentration of mind. So it's 24. Sanisayana yukta yoga nirvana shetasa sankalpa bhavan kamam skepta sarvam asheshata anasya vandaya kamam vinyamya samantata. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith. One should abandon, without exception, all material desires born of mental speculation, and thus control all the senses on all the senses on all sides by the mind. This is an endeavor, it's not easy. You must do it with determination. Like Aldevida Bhushan says, and Srila Prabhupada uses that in his commentary. Yoga should be performed with enthusiasm, like the birds who are tempted to dry up the ocean with stone or edge. So controlling the mind, Krishna will later says requires detachment and practice, suitable practice. So that suitable practice and that detachment, that we must be enthusiastic, because it doesn't happen overnight. It can be a lifetime project, practically. And we must have determination, like this little bird. A little bird came up the ocean, and the ocean took her eggs away. The little bird said to the ocean, "Give my eggs back, or I will empty you." Such a little bird. That is it possible for a little bird to empty the ocean? No, but the little bird started to empty the ocean little by little with his beak. That, of course, the ocean did not take it seriously. But Narada Muni saw that. And Narada Muni, he went to Garuda, the carrier of Vishnu. And Garuda is very big. He has wings like a planet. That's why there's a planet. And Garuda felt compassion with his little bird sister. So, and he came before the ocean, and then ocean took it serious and gave the extra. So if Krishna sees that we really try to fix our mind on Krishna, with great determination, although we fail again and again, but we correct and we try and we remain enthusiastic, Krishna will give us his mercy at a certain time and purify our heart, and then it will become more easy. So that then we can enter in samadhi. That in verses 24 and 25, and in 25 it says, "Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else." So Srila Prabhupada writes in the book, "One should think of no pleasure aside from the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. This state is easily attained by directly practicing Krishna consciousness." Krishna said, the first action to give up is to give up desires, and the last action is not to think of anything at all. So that's not easy. Give up desires. But Srila Prabhupada is practical and said, you do your service always for the pleasure of Krishna. And that becomes easy when by the practice of Krishna consciousness. But it requires the attention, being present with your consciousness and directing intelligence with intelligence, you direct the mind to connect everything with Krishna, to keep that purpose on the forefront. That, and step by step, you will start to think of Krishna. Before, in the previous chapter, chapter 3 and 5, Karma Yoga is described. In the beginning, we do service as neophytes, and we are not there with our consciousness, but we know we offer the results to Krishna. That's good, and will gradually help to purify our minds. But in a higher stage, we must do the activity itself for Krishna, not just giving the result, doing the activity for Krishna. And that requires control of the mind. That, like we chant Hare Krishna, you chant Hare Krishna, but do we think of Krishna? Do we hear the name? If we think of something else than Krishna, or if we think of something else on hearing the name, then the effect of the chant is not much purifying, but it will be seriously purifying if we are there really with our consciousness. So there is a quality to our chanting. I remember a few years ago, I was fortunate to be with Indra Maharaj, and Indra Maharaj, I'm chanting 16 rounds, but I'm a slow chanter. I need 3 hours to chant my round, because I want to hear every name of Krishna. The quality is more important than quantity. Being there with your consciousness. So I will stop here. Much more to say about the mind. Maybe next time we can look at all the aspects of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in relation to using the mind in Krishna's service. Are there any questions? We will finish with chanting in the Shinga prayer. That Namaste Narasimhaya
Namaste Narasimhaya
La 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 la
Avakaradam Adbhuta Sringam Lalita Hiranyakashipu Vishavadrita Narahari Rupa Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Jaya Nishimyade, Jaya Nishimyade, Nishimyade, Jaya Nishimyade,
Jaya Nishimyade Jaya Nishimyade Nishimyade Jaya Nishimyade
Jaya Pranasmara, Jaya Pranasmara, Pranasmara, Jaya Pranasmara,
Jaya Jai